Hello, and I'm glad you could join me on this second part of the ride, which is a midweek ride, and we're heading off out of Hawes out on the Ingleton Road, which would, if we continued on here, we'd pass the Ribblehead Viaduct on our right hand side, but we turn off before then to the right and we head across country, across a little bit of moorland and to Cowgill, and then up to Dent railway station, passing Dent Head Viaduct, which you'll see, and then from there we did head back down along towards Dent, where we shall stop, and that'll be the end of our ride. It's about 33 minutes altogether, this ride, and this is the road which I was speaking about. This part of it is more interesting. You get a good view of the open moorland from this direction, but we don't suffer any heavy traffic because we're fairly early in the morning, midweek, which is much quieter. Weekends get very busy. As you might imagine, it's a well-known route. Some might call it classic, others may disagree. As you can see, winter is still much in evidence here. No leaves showing on the trees at all. And of course we're in Yorkshire, and we've got the typical stone barns, which you can see over on the left. We've just passed one, another one over on the left hand side there. Very much sheep country. It's about the only thing it will support. Yes, Hunter's doing very nicely, running nicely. I've managed to tilt the camera up very slightly, so it's a less intrusive view of the handlebars as it was from the first part. And since this ride, I've actually managed to work out what angle it needs to be to get a good view. So you get a little bit of handlebars, my hands, speedometer, and then the rest is all the view ahead of us. Beautiful sunny morning, and the wind is now behind us as we're heading off to the west. I think what I love about this area is are those stone barns. They just make it. There's nothing quite like it in my experience. Now, obviously I'm fairly well travelled in this country, but not as much as others, I'm sure. This cyclist is nipping along. Mind you, he's going downhill. Can't keep up with him, look at that. Still can't overtake him just at the moment, but now we can. As a cyclist of many years myself, I do like people to give me a wide berth when they overtake, and I do the same for them. So you get lovely views across from this direction, I think. See from this, it's a very different landscape to the other road that we came in on, but variety is everything. Well, perhaps not everything, but very important. every now and again you get a little glimpse of the front of the petrol tank there on the dapper grey model. And one of our friends on the channel pointed out that this was removable, it's not lacquered over. No, it's not lacquered over, but they use an extremely strong adhesive to attach it to the petrol tank. I know this to my cost because I tried to remove, in fact I did eventually remove the one on Spitfire, and it's one of those things, isn't it? Any label, you pick at it, and as soon as you've picked at it you've got to continue, you can't just leave it with a bit of label missing. And how often does one think to myself, I wish I'd never started this. I certainly did in this case. I thought, what am I going to find underneath this label? And I've actually finally got it off. Will I scratch the petrol tank? Well, I started using my thumbnail, and got a bit painful in the end. After about 15 minutes work with my thumbnail, it wasn't making too much impression. I tried some white spirit on it to soften it. And I tried a mild abrasive, and all that did was remove the turned it up into a black label instead of a white one with some writing on, which is E5 and E10. I think we know we put petrol in it. As we can only get E5 and E10 at the moment, there's no much point in having a label there, I don't think. So yes, I take the point. It does, once you actually finally get it off, and it took me a good hour using a plastic scraper in the end to remove that label, and it does look better, I have to say, with that label removed. So thank you very much, Paul, for pointing out, but I'm not going to have another go at this one. It can stay there. A bit of poor road surface just there. Bike trying to follow that. Just like tram lines. If you've ever been stuck in a tram line anywhere on the continent, Belgium or Holland, you'll know if you get a bicycle tyre stuck in a tram line, you're off. It's very much that similar feeling. You get caught in one of these most peculiar things, and it's where the road's worn, and you get these tram line effects. And it definitely tries to follow that. Yes, they've all woken up, gone out of bed, and off they go to Hawes, to their cafe. I'm looking out for the turning, which is why we've slowed down a bit. Have we slowed down? Well, we're doing 40. It looks like we're going quite slowly. Well, relatively speaking, I suppose we are. I'm looking for a turning on the right. Should be signposted Dent, I think. I did mention on the other part of the ride about backache. I used to suffer from backache and chest ache on the meter, which I don't on this one. And speaking with another subscriber, Tim, he suggested that it's possibly caused by slouching. I know I used to slouch on the meter. It almost made you slouch. But over in Germany, apparently, a lot of riders wear a sort of a leather corset type device which keeps them upright, and that might well be, if you suffer from backache or anything like that. And I know that Economic Rides contacted me this morning after watching that ride and said that he doesn't suffer from anything like that. That's good. He's obviously he's a good 20 years younger than I am. So. But I think it's just my draftsman's crouch. It's work at a drawing board, and it tends to make you slouch badly. Round-shouldered. My mum used to tell me, stand up straight, lad. Well, I didn't quite say it like that, but that's what I'd say, isn't it? She'd say something like, Peter, will you stand up properly? She was quite right, of course. Poor posture. Oh, we're going to turn off to the right. I've just seen myself indicating there. Yes, here we go, off towards Dent. Dent and Sedbergh. So yes, this little bit's quite open still, and actually we come up to a Pennine bridleway, which we will stop at for a moment and have a little bit of a short video with the handheld camera. Making a great tractor coming towards me. And you'll be pleased to know I've got rid of that date and time stamp at the top left hand. Yeah, that's gone. And here we are. This is the Pennine Broadway. They've got all different sorts of names, haven't they? You've got RUPs, R-U-P-Ps, road use as a public path, boats, which is bridleway open to all traffic, green lanes. I don't know what this. Well, it is a bridleway, so I presume it's a boat. So yes, if you had a Himalayan or something similar, you could tootle off over there, I'm sure. Yeah, look, Pennine bridleway. Just to prove this is the Pennines. Part of the backbone of England. Looks proper dapper, didn't she? So a little bit more of this, and then we'll be down into leafy lanes. Dropping downhill now. Cars parked very nicely there, wasn't it? And that That is the Dent Head Viaduct, and what a magnificent view of it is from up there. Central Carlisle Railway, of course. They build them well. Closer view of the viaduct there. It's got to be fit to cycle around here. Much below on the left is our first view of the River Dee. So much more at home on these sort of roads. Lovely little bridges running over to some of the properties and fields on the other side. Stop for a quick view of the river there. And off again. Right, we're just over this bridge. There's a lovely little bench where I had in mind to stop and have my lunch. But as you can see, there's somebody already there. Now we did talk, well I say he talked, I had to listen. He's one of the sort of people that you couldn't have a conversation with, he just wanted to tell you all about himself. There you are, that's the Dent Head Viaduct. And a view of the River Dee. Very tranquil. That runs pretty fast after rains, as you might imagine. So yes, I've prized myself away from the gentleman there, and now we're heading off towards Dent railway station, where I've decided that was where I will have my lunch. Just wanted to make sure the camera was actually filming, because it switches off when I switch the engine off, it stops filming, and I've been caught out once like that, so I missed a whole lot of film. But no, all was well. Looks like a very nice little pub here. Whether it is or not, of course, I don't know. I have to try it. Very nice of that delivery chap to stop for me. I've actually found that the people delivering food from people like Morrison's, I don't know who that, can't remember who that was, Asda and people, they're very courteous. So that was Cowgill, or part of it anyway. This whole bit I think is Cowgill, because on the road that we come up to, where we turn up towards the railway station at Dent, that's also Cowgill, so it's not a very sprawling hamlet really. Now that was an old British machine. Quite what, I don't know, I didn't quite catch a glimpse of, enough of a glimpse. Even DPD were courteous. I say even DPD, they're very good. They're not like your general white van driver, are they? And they're repairing all of these little bridges. Now we're going to turn off up to the right here, and that'll take us up to the little railway station at Dent. Not that one, this next turn. That'll take us to somebody's house, I think. I really want to go up there. Now this is quite a stiff climb with some really tight bends on the way up. And this is, as you know, called the coal road because of coal workings up on the top. But we're not going right over today. Just stop at Dent railway station, have a bite of something to eat and a drink, and then return towards Dent itself. But you will get some lovely views as we turn back from the railway station coming down here. The views across are just magnificent. Station building up there. And I see there's a bus stop there. Just takes you up to the railway station and back down again.
Oh, it's a struggle, isn't it?
Right, we are replenished, so now we're going to head on back down and get these lovely views, so I'll leave you to enjoy the views.
Oh, what a view!
Warm brakes. Those sheep look interesting. Never seen a motorcycle before. I'm sure they have. Perhaps they haven't. They were lambs, weren't they? Right, heading off towards Dent now. There's that church over on the right hand side that we've stopped at before. The D continues on our left hand side. That's the little road on the other side of the D that we come along, or have come along in the past. And so this is the first time we've been along this more major road. I think once again, I think the other side, the river, as I thought, is actually the more interesting one. For me, anyway. Blue Review asked if it's ever got busy, this area. Well, it would do in summer when it's school holiday time, August, late July, August, I'm sure it does. I've never actually been here then, but I would tend to avoid it. But yes, Dent especially, I mean, 2 or 3 campsites there, so yes, it would get busy. If you've got children and if you're teachers, that's the only time you can take off from work, isn't it? I was fortunate I didn't have either that, so I was able to take my holidays quieter times. Now, of course, every day's a holiday. That's lovely. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me on this double parter, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Right, I'll leave you with a picture of the Dent Head Viaduct, and hope to see you on another ride very soon.